So I started the program in 2009 based upon my life because I would have given anything to have had a mentor when I was growing up. So I was definitely an at-risk kid. I had a father that was in the mafia. I had a mother in a cult religion. It was a very abusive home, a lot of neglect, a lot of abuse. And then, of course, that made me a target at school because I didn't have support. And I was bullied. And honestly, I'm sure I was very annoying to educators because I hardly showed up. I didn't turn in work. I didn't participate. And but nobody really knew why. Of course, they're busy educating, and we're working with kids that are doing what they're supposed to do. Help them. And I just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And so it's my heart that there are so many students out there that have way worse stories than me, and it seems to be more and more all the time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Grow Healthy, Help People podcast, a podcast that Accordis puts on. We are here today with Dena from Mentors Care. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good, absolutely. So tell us where you're calling from.
Midlothian, Texas, just out the mountain.
Midlothian, Texas. Okay, wonderful. Good deal. Well, before we get into all the amazing things that you guys are doing over there at Mentors Care, I want to know a little bit about you and how you got to where you are, how you got to be a nonprofit leader. What did it look like growing up and, going to college, things like that? Did you expect to be a nonprofit leader?
No. So,
Last thing on your mind.
yeah, so actually, my story is quite crazy. I actually just published my testimonial, Collateral Hope,
So
to tell
awesome.
the story because it's pretty extensive of how I got here. Um, so I started the program in 2009 based upon my life because I would have given anything to have had a mentor when I was growing up. So I was definitely an at-risk kid. I had a father that was in the mafia. I had a mother in a cult religion. It was a very abusive home, a lot of neglect, a lot of abuse. And then, of course, that made me a target at school because I didn't have support. And I was bullied. And honestly, I'm sure I was very annoying to educators because I hardly showed up. I didn't turn in work. I didn't participate. And but nobody really knew why. Of course, they're busy educating, and we're working with kids that are doing what they're supposed to do. Help them. And I just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And so it's my heart that there are so many students out there that have way worse stories than me, and they it seems to be more and more all the time. I hate to say that, but what we have seen with Mentors Care is that this is the way that you can truly impact lives to get them on a road to success, is by studying their lives intentionally, mentoring them. And the schools recognize those students. They're identified. These are the kids that aren't doing well. They're risky behaviors, acting out, not doing what they're supposed to do. And so it's easy to identify, and then let's get them the assistance they need. Let's get them to speak to them every week, really working on what does it take to be a successful person.
So let me ask you. So you grew up, you had a really difficult home life, and you got to this place where you wanted to start this organization. So in between there, did you yourself have a mentor at some point in your life where it showed you how important it was? Or is this something you said, I never had a mentor and I really wish I would have, and so we need to start this?
Yeah, so yeah, that was the journey, is that when I got older, I did start having older women talking to me, mentoring me. It wasn't organized or anything like that. It was just people that were telling me things like, you're smart, you're pretty, you're talented. I never had that before. and actually were very kind in helping me understand marriage and kids and all those things. And so they were mentoring me and they really impacted me. So that started my journey to where I eventually became a youth pastor in Arkansas. And I just realized, oh my gosh, I just love these kids that are so lost. Those are the ones that I really want to help. So when we moved to Dallas, well, Midlothian, in 2006, I was doing some volunteer work at the high school, and then the principal recognized that I loved these kids and was good with these kids, and he said, would love to hire you. And I said, well, there's really just not, that doesn't sound like a fit for me. And then he said, we really need a mentoring program. We've tried to start several times a mentoring program and we've really struggled. Would you be interested in doing that? And I was like, that's what I would love to do. Yes. So that was in 2009 that I wrote the program up, and I wrote curriculum, 4 years curriculum for mentors, to talk to students, and then launched it. And man, it has just been magical ever since. We were hoping to have, he said, man, if you could get 10 mentors with some of our worst struggling kids, that would be amazing. So we wound up with 30 that first year, 30 mentors, 30 kids, because it's one-to-one mentoring. And then eventually, after a couple of years, we wound up with over 70. And I was like, that's way too many. It's too much to keep up with one person. Because these are all your most at-risk kids, so you're dealing with some of your life issues. And so we realized our sweet spot is, 60-ish with 60 mentors. And so now we're in 23 high schools and talking to 4 new high schools that are interested, because it's working. It is just working.
Yeah.
These are turning their lives around. It's just incredible to
That's
watch.
so wonderful. I love this so much. So tell me what it looks like. So when a child enters like the mentorship program, um,
Mhm.
do they enter and can they stay in it for, let's say they start in ninth grade. Do they go all through their high school year? What does that curriculum look like? Like, what does a mentee do with their
Mhm.
mentor? Kind of tell me the process.
Yeah. So I realized when I was a youth pastor, it's very hard for adults to work with at risk high school students because it's very intimidating. One, a lot of these people have not dealt with these things, and these kids have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder sometimes, and they act like they don't like you or don't want to talk to you. So I realized the curriculum was really important because those are sitting in front of you every week to kind of chip away every week. So there's 24 the first year, 24 the second year, and then the modules third and fourth year to help them stay on track until they do graduate. So we try to grab them in ninth grade. We will have middle school principals, counselors refer students to us that they feel like could really benefit from a mentor by the time they get to high school. But we'll grab them any grade. It doesn't matter. We've had some seniors that only have a couple months left, and we want to make sure, that they're not sabotaging themselves. A lot of times students do that if they're very at risk and they're scared to death of a future, and they have not been in our program for whatever reason. We'll grab them, and start talking to them. So yeah, so we have a full-time coordinator that works at each of our high schools for Mentors Care. And their job is to make sure that the mentoring is happening every week with that student. So they are checking attendance to make sure the student is there to honor the mentor's time. If the mentor says, yes, I'm going to be a mentor 1 hour once a week during the school day, and we want to make sure that the student's there as best we can. And also, if a mentor needs to do something at work or something's going on at home and needs to reschedule, they contact the coordinator and they make sure they're happening. So a lot of mentoring programs leave it up to the person when they volunteer to schedule it, to go pick up the student or meet them somewhere, or to come up with the things that they talk about. Well, we've answered all those things. So we say, just say yes to being a friend. We'll do everything else. So if a student and a mentor build a relationship of trust and they start talking and they start finding out some major details about the student's life, we do not expect the mentor to do anything but other than be a friend. So they bring that information to our coordinator. Our coordinator is sort of a social worker on campus. So they can quickly get busy finding out what can I do to help this student, if it's going to be counseling, food, housing, if we need a CPS call, if we need to call police or whatever. So uh, they work together in tandem for that student. So for every student that's in our program, they have two very important adults in their life helping them. So about 80%, 85% of our students have little to no support at home. Like they've never heard these things before. We have a population of students that are just have gotten off track. They have good support and they just need that extra person in their life. But for some of them, they've never heard, um, you really need to graduate high school, and this is why, and this is what it's going to cost you if you don't have a diploma. And then also the very important aspects of respect or showing up, why it's so important, or um, giving 120% when no one's looking. It's not get away with what you can get away with. Be the best you can be and excellent, because that's what makes a successful person, that gives you a great life. And then we talk about the future. What do you want to do in the future? What do you see yourself doing? What are you interested in? What are your talents? And then we help them map that out with the coordinator, filling out applications, whatever they need to do. And then we have pathways. So we have partnerships with businesses around the communities we serve that say we would love applicants for jobs entry level, and we will train them. And so they get paid, they get trained, great career for the rest of their lives. We've got several students that have been there for years, and it's been a great thing. Employers are saying, we would rather train them than retrain them. And some of our students are not going to be able to go to a college. They got to go to work, or so this has been a win-win for them as well. So
Wow. That's incredible. I love absolutely everything your organization does. It's so wonderful and so needed, probably in every high school in the world, to be honest. I mean, there's always a handful, or if not a lot, of students who need that mentorship program. Even honestly, even students who have a great home life, like mentorship is truly such a important thing to have in your life. And so I think what you're doing is incredible. Do you have students who, once they graduate and they've gotten their job or they've kind of gotten situated, that they keep in contact with you, that you're able to kind of like still be in touch with and know how they're doing?
yes. So once the mentor and the student are done, the student has
Yes.
graduated, it's on them.
Yeah.
And we find out they become lifelong friends. Like
Oh,
it's
I love
really
it.
amazing. So right now
Yeah.
we're serving over 1,000 students with 1,000 mentors. Over the years, there's been
Wow.
thousands.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we'll hear stories. And I just heard one the other day, which I didn't know because there's just so many. I don't know everybody.
Yes.
But this is an incredible story of a young woman who her father died when she was 12. The mother had
Mm.
gotten a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was molesting her. And so she got involved with drugs and alcohol, a bad crowd, wound up homeless, tried to commit suicide twice. And so by the time we met her, she was in the middle of her ninth grade year, and she got a mentor and immediately just latched on. They became the best of friends. That mentor helped guide her and love her right where she was, no judgment, just loving her. And she got her life cleaned up. She got excited about a future. She graduated high school. She went on to college. She met her future husband. They're married, and now they have a 2-year old. Well, that mentor, now she's a mentor for us, that student. And the mentor is able to babysit the 2-year old so she can mentor. So that's the kind of relationships we hear about. And we are all starving for relationships. It doesn't matter where you come from. And if you do not have someone, you're going to make some bad choices and decisions. It's not that you're a bad person, you just sometimes don't know any better. And so, what we're doing is intentionally going and meeting with these students and loving them right where they are. No judgment, just let's do life together. And then intentionally, let's move you along so that you can have a great future. So, know that these relationships turn into great friendships for
Yeah,
years.
absolutely.
We
Oh,
do.
that's incredible. I love that story that you told. That's so wonderful. It's so, and I know it has to just mean so much to you to hear those stories of success and to really see the impact that the organization is making. I know that that must feel just so incredible to you. So, as a nonprofit leader, you know that running a nonprofit is truly such a joy, and you wouldn't trade it for anything else. All the struggles, all the hardships are worth it. When when you have those outcomes, when you see that success, it makes all the challenges worth it. So, what are some of those challenges that you see in your nonprofit of just of running one and doing everything that needs to be done on a daily basis?
Right. Well, okay. So I started from the ground level. I started in a broom closet at a high school. Didn't know what I was doing. I'd never run a nonprofit. I had to learn everything, hard knocks. But I was always asking people questions and trying to learn as much as I could about how to do this. I call it trudging. I put my head down and I was just trudging, one foot in front of another, trying to learn, trying to do what we need to do. And here's the number one thing is that it's not me. It is a lot of people that come alongside an incredible board. It's the staff. It's people that have advised me. It's a lot of prayer. I mean, it's been a lot of things to move us forward to where we are now. So I remember when I was down to the last $600. Of course, you sacrifice in the beginning as a founder. You're not getting paid and all that kind of thing. And then you build it up and then became a nonprofit. That was, and then fundraising, got to have a board, governance, bylaws, then donor development. And so I learned early on, I got to become sustainable. We got to figure out a way to become sustainable. So what I did is create a contract with the schools. It's not for the entire cost of the program, but it helps us with our fundamental layer to make sure we can come back every year. But our business model is flawed in that every new school we go into, we're losing money because there's a gap in what it actually cost. But it's okay because we're able to go find funders to say, okay, we're going to come alongside because you do have this big chunk of money that they are buying in. You have that. We can partner with that. We're not your sole provider. And so we do the fundraising, we do grant writing, philanthropy, and all of those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, now we have almost 35 employees. We went from me down to the last $600 to now our budget's 1.8 million. Is mind blowing, mind blowing, mind blowing. But it was not me. If I ever thought it was me, I'm doing it wrong. It is not me. I had no background or training at all. In fact, I was an artist, so I just tried to encourage people, build them up, find their gifts and talents, and bring them alongside. And they bought into the passion and the understanding of how important it was. So they're passionate about their calling. They're passionate about what they're doing, that they're a big piece of this happening so we can impact lives. And it's about me just now, just continuing to encourage people to come alongside, funding, people coming alongside, working with us, people, just because there are over 1,000 students right now that are depending on that mentor showing up every week and making sure we're doing it with excellence and that it is done well because they are deserving and they deserve the best. And being able to say that message over and over again and continue growing into wherever we are supposed to go. And we do believe we are going to go statewide and nationwide because it is working. We have figured out so many pieces to mentoring. where others were missing pieces or there was problems. We have figured it out, and we're so excited about it. We really want to keep going.
Absolutely. I love that. And you should keep going. I think, like I said before, I think this is needed in so many areas. And guys, if you are watching this and you're a nonprofit leader as well, you know the challenges that come
Mhm.
with running a nonprofit and getting people to really understand your vision and your mission and just putting it out there so that you can get that support. And that is something that a Cordis can come alongside you and help with. You do not have to do it alone. We want to come and help you with that back end work so you can focus on what's important, which is doing the thing you love and running that mission. We can help you with those campaign strategies, marketing, web development. We can help you with all your design and graphic. We want to help you put your mission out there to get people excited, to get that funding, to get that support, to get those volunteers. And we just love to come alongside of nonprofits and help them do that. So if you need our services or are interested in learning more, our website will be at the end of this podcast episode. So you said just a couple more things. You said that you want to get to where you are state, nationwide. Do
Mhm.
you that takes a lot of support to get there.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so tell me, how can people help you reach your goals? What can they do to give to you financially? Where do they do that? And then where you are now, and if people are located near you, how can they get involved with you?
So if you go to our website, which is mentors.care, super easy. A great little 4-minute video that you can watch that really lays it out what we do very easily. So, one, we need mentors in all the schools that we serve and where we continue to grow. There is a link on there for an application, real easy application process. We take it from there. You just fill it out. We're going to do the training. We're going to equip you. We just ask that you show up for 1 hour once a week during the school year, and that's it. And you don't meet at your home, their home. It's only at the school, and you'll have a full-time coordinator there to help you. Um, we also have donation of snacks. So we have 2 snacks a day for students. Some of them are food insecure, actually, a lot of them. And teenagers are hungry, so we're always looking for nutritious snacks. There's a link on there to see that you can order Amazon or whatever and have it donated directly. We need funding. You heard about the gap. I mean, that is a problem. It's okay. We're working hard on that. And that's my job now as founder and moving more into a founder role. I wrote the book Collateral Hope in hopes that it will inspire people to bring us into your community. Help us connect with those leaders in your community, the school administrators, the superintendents, the principals, whoever, so we can talk about the possibility of our being in your community. And then funding. I mean, I would love to talk with anybody, and you can go to my website, denapetty.com. I am speaking more now, and I am doing that in hopes that I can inspire people for mentoring, sure, for mentors care, but mentoring in general. I mean, you can mentor somebody in your own family. You, I would love for it to be mentors care, but it doesn't matter. If everybody on the planet had a mentor, how would it change this world?
For
What would it be? And my story is that I was so alone. So therefore, I had hunger. I did live in my car. I've known abuse of every kind, and I felt so alone and therefore had no hope. But yet, people did start coming along and speaking life into me. And, people think it's a big commitment. Sometimes it's just that one moment of having that opportunity to speak life into somebody, how it can alter a life. I've seen it too many times. It doesn't have to be big something. Yeah, just contact me. I would, I would love to talk to anyone. That's what I do now, is just hopefully inspiring and encouraging people to step out in faith here. Everyone can mentor. Everyone can be a part of mentoring. We make it easy for people to be a part on whatever level that they need, that they a part of. And here's the thing. I want to back up for a second. There are state at-risk indicators that we use to identify students for our program. Those are going to be things that a lot of them kids can't change, like moved a lot behind their peers. Well, not peers in grades, they could do better than that. But parents, one single parent home, parents incarcerated, um, impoverished. Those are some things that they can't change. We also have at risk indicators that are in house for mentors care, like suicide ideation, clutters, bullying, lack of extracurricular activities. Those are all things that make them at risk that we use also as indicators to determine if they need a mentor. And what we have proven is that if they have a mentor 2 or more years, all of those at risk indicators, almost all of them are gone. Almost all of them. We are graduating 100% of our students if we have them 2 years. We have students that attendance was, I want to, oh my gosh, let's see. 70% of the students that are in our program when they start with us have an attendance issue. If they have a mentor for 2 or more years, they increase to 90% attendance.
Oh,
90% attendance improved. Disciplinary rates decrease almost 80%. We're in a juvenile justice system in one of our counties that we're in, and we're in every school in that county. So when the judges says mentors care, we need you there, we need a mentor for every student, we get a mentor for every student. When they're placed back to their school, that mentor goes with them. Almost 100% never go back to juvenile. Never. This is how impactful mentoring is, and it can truly change communities, it can change life path, it can change family trajectory.
yes, absolutely. That is so incredible. And guys, if you are watching, we're going to have the website to Mentors Care linked at the end of this episode as well. But please check it out and get involved, especially if you're in their area right now, you can go ahead and get involved. But even if you're not in their area and this is speaking to you and you feel passionate about it, reach out, let them know that you want to see this in your community, because you've heard it. It is so important. It's making a huge difference in the lives of all these students, especially as a parent. You know, I think about, I would not want my child to walk through life without having a single support system. And so just reach out. If it is speaking to you, let them know, ask how you can get involved, ask how you can get it started, ask the questions. And if you are in love what they're doing and you want to support it, go online, give to them. I know they would appreciate it more than you could possibly know, because the struggle is there. It is always a struggle to get that financial support. Yes, absolutely. So just get online, watch the video, and just educate yourself, most importantly. And again, if you want to get involved, just please reach out to them. Thank you so much for being on this podcast today. I've learned so much and I've really enjoyed learning about Mentors Care.
Thank you, Shay. This was awesome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.